When did you last update your will? It's believed more than half of adults don't actually have a will or have one that's out of date.
Yeah, March could be the best time to think about yours, and to tell us why, we've invited solicitor Paul Britton to join us on this morning. Thank you for joining us, Paul. I do think wills are something that we all don't really like talking about. We think it's morbid, but when I remember bringing my son home from hospital, and honestly, when he was 3 months old, I did his will, and I cannot tell you how good I felt after. It was like a big weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I sorted out every single scenario, and I do think we should talk about wills a lot more often. But March, can we go to March? Why is March a good time to sort out your will?
Well, March brings in what we call the Free Wills Month. So that means that people that want to make a will can do it at no cost to them. They can contact the Free Wills Network and put their details in, and they'll be connected with a solicitor local to them that's going to help them draft their will, so that all of their assets, everything that they've accumulated in life, is going to be left to the people that they want it to be left to.
I think there's a presumption, isn't there, that particularly if you're married or if you're a long-term partner, that everything just goes to them if you pass, and then they take care of the next step. Is that not the case?
Not without a will. I mean, if you have a will, then yes, of course, you can do what we call mirror wills. So you might leave it all to Josie, and Josie might leave it all to you.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Thank you, Craig.
I mean,
You're not getting my guitar.
In that example. Well, a guitar's another interesting thing, because do you want to leave that to someone in particular? If you do, then you need to set that out in your will, and it might not be a bloodline descendant. So if it's not in your will, they definitely won't get it, because it will pass under a set of rules that we call the intestacy rules.
So it does require thought. You've got to sit down and really map it out.
As Josie said it, yeah, plan in every scenario.
Well, the thing is with me, Paul, I lost a parent early, so I think that might have changed my mindset. And we think, you know, oh, we'll leave that for when we're older. And, you know, my dad wasn't very old when he died, so you want to get it done now, especially if you've got kids and things, don't you?
Well, and the salient point that came out, you know, once it was done, you felt so much better. I think what we struggle with quite often is facing the fact that one day we are going to pass, and we don't like to, you know, that doesn't happen to me. That's kind of that attitude. Or not now, I haven't reached that point yet in my life. But what you did was the responsible thing. And I mean, the times to make wills are when you have children, when you buy property, when you move up the housing ladder, those sort of things. As your wealth starts to build, that's the time to get a will.
We spoke about dementia a couple of weeks ago here on the show. That's also another crucial time. Early signs of dementia, sitting down with your loved ones in your family going, do you want to just have a look at this while you're fully compos mentis? Difficult conversation, but an important one.
It is, because if you lose capacity, you can't do a will now. You can't sign a will. So you really are going to fall on the intestacy rules. So if there is the slightest sign of a testator or testatrix losing capacity, then they ought to really get out there and do their will.
So we've put the fear in God in everyone at home about their wills at the moment.
It doesn't have to be like that, does it? No. You know, once you've done it, it's that weight lifted off your shoulders, you know what's happening. But, you know, there is a process to it, isn't there, Paul? Could you talk us through that process?
Yeah, so what you would normally do is you'd meet with a solicitor, and then they will talk to you about your estate, what you have. You might have shares, stocks. There might be international assets. If there's assets outside of the jurisdiction, then you might need to get a will in that jurisdiction as well. You will get what's called a wills questionnaire. So it'll be a document that's very easy to fill out, and that will just ask you where you want things to go, who you want to have what. Your solicitor will then draft the will based on your wills questionnaire. You'll get a draft, so you get to approve it. Then it will be finalised, sent to you, signed, witnessed, and then it's binding.
How about the sneaky stuff? You know, the sly Bitcoin you bought sitting in the corner somewhere you haven't told anyone about.
Well, it has to be dealt with.
Has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Does everybody see your will, though, before you pass? Is it a very personal thing?
No, it's a confidential document. No one has a legal right to see it, least of all the beneficiaries. So the people that you've named that will be getting everything, we call them beneficiaries. They won't have a right to see it. The only people that will see it is when you pass, is who you've named to deal with your estate. We call them your executors. Obviously, they will see it because they'll need to call in all your bank accounts, all your shares, and then distribute it according to your will, to your wishes.
How long does it take to do all this?
For the solicitor, maybe 5 hours. For the client, as long as it takes to fill out the wills questionnaire. Solicitors will want to probably meet with you, good, reputable lawyers will want to meet with you so that they can understand all of your assets, because there'll be tax efficiencies that we can put in there, certain reliefs that you can claim.
OK, so it's expensive if it's 5 hours. So free will's march is important.
No, it doesn't follow that it's expensive, no.
OK. I'm just thinking an hour of solicitor's time.
Well, but solicitors don't charge by the hour. So the free will is a free will. You don't pay for it if you do it in that month. There are charities that run throughout the year that will put you in contact with their referral network. So you don't have to rush this month to do it. You can do it at other times through other charities. But expense, no. If you come to a firm of solicitors and you want it, you're looking at about £300-400 for a will.
Yeah. What is the benefit of the charities doing that for you then?
So the charities hope that you'll leave them a legacy gift.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Well, some of them have different criteria.
Right.
There are some charities that say you can get it for free so long as you leave a legacy gift, which essentially is a donation to that charity or a charity.
Okay.
But many of them now don't have that. Cancer research don't have that.
OK. What happens if you don't have one?
If you don't have a will
Yeah.
and you pass.
Yeah.
So it falls under a set of rules that we call the intestacy rules. Intestacy is just a word that means you haven't testified, you haven't proclaimed where you want things to go.
Right.
If you're married, your partner will inherit £322,000. That will go straight to them. Anything over that will be split 50-50 between your partner and the children. If you don't have a partner, you don't have children, the rules get slightly more complicated, but it follows bloodline. So it'll either be grandchildren, or it'll go up the chain to mum and dad or to grandparents. If there's nobody that can inherit, it's declared what we call bona vacante, which is an old-fashioned word for vacant possession, and then it goes to the Crown.
Oh, so no.
So good day for
Get it
King
done.
Charles, but...
People at home watching now going, right, I need to do this. So on a very practical, simple level, there's people at home going, right, I'm doing it today. What do they do today?
Go online, type in Free Wills Network. If there is a charity that they're affiliated with, then check their website to see if they do charity wills, or contact a local solicitor in your area, and they will take your details, and they should make the process very simple for you.
Because if you're over 55, you get a certain period of time to do it in, and it changes, doesn't it?
Well, some have that criteria, so you have to be over 55. But another thing I should say is it's not just creating a new will. If you have a will, you can still benefit from the Free Wills month. You can make amendments for free, or you can just create a new will. So just because you have one, it doesn't automatically exclude you from this Free Wills month.